Hello my friends and welcome back. New week, new opportunities, new survival game. You and me, we're gonna survive this week. But what happened last week, which I couldn't make a video about because Friday's timing was off. By the time I was making it, Trump and Putin were just meeting and no videos, no photos, nothing yet. But now we have everything and we're gonna go through everything. There's serious stuff. There's funny stuff and there's scary stuff. You're gonna see everything that is worth watching from that meeting and we're gonna analyze the hell out of it. First of all, we begin of United States soldiers laying out a red carpet to Putin. Now again, I know this is the task of these soldiers. If you look at, I'm sorry, I don't know how this document is written, but they are the ones who are supposed to do that if any kind of leader or a guest is arriving in that specific military base. For me, it's just a little bit painful to watch American troops, which are, in my eyes, the best soldiers in the world, laying out a red carpet specifically for Putin. I don't like the vibe of it, you know, I don't like it. But I mean, what can I say? And take this with a grain of salt, but as I said, I gotta go through it because this is the vibes I'm getting. Remember these guys? This is them now. Now, I'm not here to make fun of American soldiers. I really respect them and thank you for the service. But just the red carpet and the Russian flag and them kneeling before, it's just a bad press image. That's it, you know. And there's a lot of them. Very bad one. So is this. America great again? And I know these guys have to do the orders, what they're ordered to do. Again, they're doing their orders. But Putin is a war criminal, so it's just, for me, it's painful to see. But hey, don't worry. This is the last one. We're gonna move on. No more of these photos. I got it out of my chest. Next video I want to open up with you is when Putin's plane arrived, his limousine rode out of it. Aurus limousine, which he always rides in. And I mean, it was not really used in the end because Putin got into Trump's car, Beast, which is insane in another level. But here is just a very interesting clip of Aurus with the Russian flag being seen right next to the F35s stationed here. So it's just a very rare sight you can see, and you will probably never see that sight again. Especially in nowadays geopolitics, this is like a scene from another planet almost. What was the view that Putin saw when he was riding in the Beast with Trump? I will get to it, they got into the same car, but just I want to highlight the view. A row of F-35s stationed here, ready to be deployed. I mean, these planes are one of the best and most modern planes in the world. I didn't say the best, I said one of the best. They are, for all Putin's intents and purposes, invisible to anything Russia has to offer. Any radars or any Russian fighter jets could not see these planes in the air because their radars could not pick it up. So, for Putin's view, this is the weapon that would be deployed against him if things weren't working out with Trump and Putin. But it seems they are working out because after the meeting, I will get to it. But Trump changed his stance on Ukraine after this meeting quite strongly again. My friends, when I do these Ukrainian updates, I start with researching, and that includes me looking through hundreds and hundreds of different news from different news sites. That's quite tedious actually, and sometimes, actually always, almost every day, I recognize Russian disinformation campaigns, and I don't want them in my brain. This is why I use Ground News. Ground News is the #1 news comparison site in the world, and it really helps me push out the garbage and keep what I want to see. I have here 2 topics for me. This is a For You page in Ground News, and these 2 topics for me personally are Ukraine and Ukraine war. I want nothing else. This really makes my workflow more efficient. Here I can see news that I want to read that is connected to Ukraine, so I can really do my research and get ready for filming. And then I do film and edit, and the editing itself takes a lot of time, so I gotta be efficient at the beginning of the day. Out of these news articles, I picked Senate panel advances funding bill with 1 billion for Ukraine. I mean, this is of course United States Senate approving next year's defense spending, which is a big, beautiful amount. On the right panel here, I can see the coverage detail. Total news sources 28. I mean, if there's only 1 or 2 news sources reporting on the news, you know it's not popular enough or it's too local to get to your field of vision. Below that, we have the bias distribution, and you can see it's 72% center. Or if it's leaning right or leaning left, you know your political views best, so you can pick the area where you want to read. I personally would like to keep it as center as possible. And below that is one of the most important tabs here, which is the factuality of this news across all of these 28 sources, which is 89%. High factuality. Out of that 89%, 50% is very high factuality. This is good enough for me, it should be good enough for you. And below that, there is also the ownership of the news houses who report on this. Another awesome tool Ground News gives you is the list of all of the sources with the headlines. You can see different headlines below each other, and you can see are they center, low factuality, high factuality, leaning left, leaning right. And note that the wording in each title differs on their agenda. It is very interesting to see. I use all of these tools Ground News gives me to make the most efficient research before I shoot my videos. I think so should you. By the way, you can get the same plan I use for nearly half the price. Just go to ground.news/Artur or scan the QR code on the screen to get their unlimited access Vantage plan for just $5 a month. Or you can also make it a gift. Gift it to somebody as a birthday present or anniversary. It's a good gift about the truth of information. It's actually one of the best gifts. Thank you Ground News for sponsoring today's video. So let's take these clips and videos by chronological order that they happened in. First of all, Putin and Trump got out of the planes, they met on the red carpet, they shook hands, yada yada, and now they're walking to the Alaska sign, Alaska 2025, where the press can take a few photos of them. When they were walking, this happened. You know, walking, zoom out, you see up in the sky, and what are these? My friends, these, correct me if I'm wrong, but these are not the F35s, these are the F22s. Am I right? And a B2 bomber. So, F22 and a B2, 2 of these American platforms that have never been exported anywhere, never been sold because they are too advanced and expensive and advanced and too secrets to be sold to anybody. They are flown over Putin's head. This is a massive flex to remind Putin of American military strength, especially the air power, which is here. I mean, this one B-2 bomber can eliminate several Russian military bases in one go. This is my analysis on this. This is a massive flex on air power. And I mean, this combo here is the deadliest aviation combo there is. And right over Putin's head, he saw it, it's a flex. Nice to see that. So now they arrive at this Alaska sign here, which the press will make photos of them. But then they shook hands there and stood a few seconds for the press. And then the press started yelling questions already to Putin. And I want to pay your mind to the question and how Putin reacts, because it writes itself, man. This is comedy.
Mr. Putin, did you underestimate Ukraine? President Putin, will you stop killing civilians?
Mr. Putin, did you underestimate Ukraine? And then a pause, and Mr. Putin, will you stop killing civilians? And then check out Putin's response to this. Civilian? What is civilian? Where? I don't know. What? I cannot hear you. I mean, this is priceless. At the first question, he didn't react at all. At the second one, he's like, I cannot hear you. You are asking about civilians? What civilians? There is no civilians here. This is in Russia. Bear in mind, in Russia, Putin is never asked these questions because the journalists are not allowed in who want to ask these questions, or they're all dead. So this is one of the only instances he will be asked questions like this. And bear in mind, he speaks English. He understands everything. He speaks and understands very well. He just doesn't want to. So when asked about this, look at this. Huh? I haven't killed any what civilian? No civilian here. What are you gonna do? Yeah, you know, he shrugs it off. And then Trump is like, okay, I gotta save this guy because he's being asked dangerous questions. All right, let's go. And now check this out. Trump is like looking at the press and doing, hey, stop it. Don't ask any more questions. Don't ask any more important questions. No more. Trump is like, don't do it. And then walking off. It's so weird. It's a full theater. And it's not, we're not even halfway, my friends. We're going to go through all of these little details. I enjoy it. So they get into Trump's car, the Beast, which is like the most impenetrable car in the whole planet. And it's the fact itself that they get into the Beasts, Putin and Trump, it's so strange. And the clown show continues because when they drive away with it, this little clip is seen when Putin is smiling and looking out, looking like this. It's just the distortion of the bulletproof glass and everything. And it's compared to this one. I know I shouldn't have this much fun here, but my friends, you cannot miss this opportunity. Look at that face. The face of a war criminal when the most powerful country's leader in the world asks you to ride in his car and asks his journalists not to ask these important questions and guarantees your safety in Alaska personally. I mean, this is epic victory for Putin. Honestly, this, like, propaganda-wise, political-wise, this was 10 out of 10 victory for Putin up to this point when he was invited into the car. So then they ride to the venue where there is a press conference and the press is shouting all over each other towards Trump and Putin. Now bear in mind again, in Russia, press never is allowed to do that. The ones who are brave enough to do that and write something like that, they are killed. That's what has Putin has like killed about 20, 30 journalists, had them killed in the last 20 years. So here is the rare opportunity for this old clown to actually hear the questions he never hears in Russia. Let's see which kind of questions are they.
Press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Let's go. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Let's go. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, press. Let's go.
Okay, so yeah, he was again once asked, will you stop killing civilians? And then he reacted even strongly. But look at that face. Ooh, that's the face when you forgot to wear your adult diaper and something happens. You know what? Oh, damn, I forgot to wear it today. Oh, damn, that's a big one. Oh, some more is coming. Not good. And now yelling out for the maid to come and help you. Hey, please. And this face is legendary. Will be recorded for history. Take a mental screenshot. It's gonna be recorded for history. And then the press is pushed away. But somebody did this and I shrugged it off, but the resemblance. I mean, you all remember Charles Manson, don't you? I do. And the dude I've watched a lot of videos about this guy. He's a crazy guy. Look at the similarities here. I'm not gonna say who Charles Manson is. If you don't know, you can, look it up. But Putin, just the face looked surprisingly similar here. I'm just gonna leave that connection there. And then somebody did this. I gotta take your time. This goes perfectly with the vibe of this painting, the scream. But then again, if you put Trump here saying, Vladimir, stop, then this one also goes perfectly. They both screaming like that. The duo works perfectly. So everything was over. The lunch actually was cancelled. It was just called off for some reason. And then this is the end of the press conference. After this, Putin and Trump went on their separate ways. But they talk here for 15 seconds. This was released by the Kremlin, by the way, this video. But bear in mind, Trump stands still, right? This guy also translator perhaps, although Putin doesn't need one. And why is Putin waving like that? Look at his body. Waving, wavy flag. I'm dancing. I am dancing. Yeah. So much moving and waving. I don't know why. I'm not here to judge on how people stand, but it's just he's moving around like that. So if you know anything about that, leave it in the comments. Educate us all. Okay. That's enough of Putin-Trump meeting of them two. Now let's look at the Russian press team, because there was a whole team of press involved and they released several videos and they're quite juicy, my friends. I want to share them all with you. So first of all, they arrive on American airspace and immediately F-35s appear on both sides of the press plane, which two on both sides and the Russian flag and everything. Again, a bizarre view of the most modern jets, fighting machines, sending these Russian journalists, and they film it and they publish it, which is so, I don't know, something is so off about this vibe, this feeling. Okay, and then the journalists land and they are guided to where they sleep and eat. First of all, this Russian journalist makes a video of the breakfast buffet. He doesn't really like it. I will try read the subtitles for you. And our breakfast looked like this: a bag of chips, a bowl full of air, fruits. And this apparently is a bowl of some kind of salad, probably tuna salad. So yeah, he doesn't like the breakfast buffet at all. He's making a video about it, saying how bad it is here in America, how they're received, but it doesn't end there. This is where they were housed. So they were housed in a big hallway with beds. How do you call them? I don't know I know in Estonia, but in English, how do you call these beds? You know these beds. And the screen is separating them, just like a cloth screen. And everybody has to sleep here together like that. And they have some garbage bins and everything. It's just a very, it's okay for a military, for anybody it's okay. But just as a Russian journalist having one chance in America, probably you were denied entry after that. You would be denied for years. This is the one chance. This is what you get. I would be disappointed. I'm glad the Americans did that. Hey, good job. This is how they should be treated. But if I were a Russian journalist, I'd be like, damn, I wanted more. This was my one shot at USA. Yeah. But there was a leakage of documents, which is strange. This would be very heavily safeguarded and taken care of meeting. But again, for some reason, Trump's security team, they left the documents on the hotel lobby on the printer. It's so weird. A State Department staffer seems to have left behind 8 pages of info on the hotel printer about the Trump-Putin summit. We published each one of them. See what they say for yourself. Yeah, it's not top secret information. It's who meets who at what time and yada yada. But still, it's supposed to be secret. Just for the fact that this leak shows you the quality of the team doing this meeting. So yeah, the schedule of the meeting leaked. Names of everybody who met. Everybody knew this already. But the fact that it just was left there. It could have been some other document, which is really bad. So yeah. And we know what they ate. They ate this. And we know what Putin actually chose out of this food. So you know what he ate. It's not important, but, the document shouldn't be there, But Trump's wife, Melania Trump, actually used this opportunity to send a personal letter to Putin to hand it over, or somebody hand it over. I'm not going to read this letter, but I read it, and it's a heartfelt letter about Ukrainian children. Now, it doesn't mention Ukrainian children, it just mentions children in general, but we know who she's talking of because there are snips and details have surfaced of us seeing that Melania knows what's going on in Ukraine and actually trying to influence Trump a little bit to understand it. So yeah, I'll just read you the last paragraph. In protecting the innocence of these children, you will do more than serve Russia alone. You serve humanity itself. Such a bold idea transcends all human division, and you, Mr. Putin, are fit to implement this vision with a stroke of pen today. It is time. Sincerely, Melania Trump. So he actually invites Putin to think about the children. And where? In Ukraine, of course, because, or maybe in Russia also. But yeah, this props to Melania for this in my eyes. So now we travel to Russia. The topic is still the same. How is this covered in Russia? Well, in Russian TV channels, Putin and Trump are aired together, and they even make montages out of them. Like they're super friends, biggest friends. They make these edits and stuff, and they show it to Russian people, trying to persuade Russian people also that Trump is the friend. It's so strange. But my friends, now we arrive to the end of this topic. What are the final results of this meeting? I mean, it's the meeting of our time, our generation, this war. It's the meeting of this war. And what came out of it? Nothing. Yes, nothing came out of it. Nothing. The results of the talks in Alaska are: nothing was agreed upon, no questions were allowed, the Russian delay tactics might be continued in Moscow, Putin can return home avoiding more sanctions, Trump is returning with nothing, clear win for Russia and a bad day for the USA. I agree very much too. This was a massive win for Russia. It brought Russia out of the political isolation that it was in. It got an audience with the most powerful leader in the world. I mean, this is a gift, a massive gift to Putin. But then Trump went on, he tweets a lot or makes this truth social stuff. I don't know what the truths or how you call them when he tweets in his truth social app. Well, he tweeted this cryptic tweet thing, truth, called BELA. BELA means white in Russian. Belarus is like white Russia, maybe Belarus, but it's just a joke. But hear me out what this might have meant. He just tweeted, BELA, nobody knows. Trump, please don't release compromat on me, which is like hidden files. Putin, then let us take over Ukraine. Trump, okay, let me think about it. Putin, you have until tomorrow. Just tweet BELA so I know the deal is on. Otherwise, the videos will be released. And Trump tweeted BELA. So this is maybe just a direct message to Putin that don't worry, my friend, I'll be dealing with Ukraine for you. And again, I mean, after this meeting, Trump's stance on Ukraine got extremely tough again. Before it, Trump even signed a weapons deal with Zelensky and continued the weapons transfers. But now, after this meeting, I'll read you what he said. President Zelensky of Ukraine can end the war with Russia almost immediately if he wants to, or he can continue the fight. Remember how it started? No getting back Obama giving Crimea 12 years ago without a shot being fired, and no going into NATO by Ukraine. Some things never change. So this is the old Trump stance again after the meeting with Putin. So he's right back where he started with a very aggressive anti-Ukrainian stance and giving gifts to Putin, giving gifts. And this is not it, there's more. This is next tweet he did. Ukraine must be willing to lose some territory to Russia. Otherwise, the longer the war goes on, they will keep losing even more land. Which is not true in any sense, because Russia has been proven to be beaten in Ukraine in a way that they're not able to advance. Yes, Ukraine is also not able to advance, but Russia, as the big, powerful aggressor army, has been beaten on the battlefield to the stance that it's stalemate, which is a bigger loss to Russia than Ukraine. So it's not true. But yeah, Trump is like pushing Ukraine to give up land. This is his goal now. And just to illustrate how I see Trump and Putin, well, here it is, Chamberlain and Hitler, Trump and Putin. This is how I see it. This is how a big portion of the Western world sees it. I mean, this is horrible. And again, you see this photo, look at Trump's, look at that smile, damn, his white teeth are so white. I think he's done whitening or something. And then you got this Chamberlain Hitler photo. So for me, honestly, that's what I see. This concludes the Trump-Putin topic for this video. I think I'll continue analyzing it Wednesday and Friday, coming videos also, because it keeps giving. But the video, I mean, there's very big stuff happening on the Ukrainian front lines, and we haven't even gotten to it yet, so let's get to it. Remember the bunny years breakthrough in Dobropillia or in Bakrovsk? Well, the big Russian breakthrough that happened about 1.5 weeks ago. Well, my friends, it has almost concluded. Not quite, but concluded in a way that this area is now stabilized and again under Ukrainian control. And it's not looking good for the Russians. First of all, just look at the map. I mean, there is a very clear surroundment or a pocket. Certain Russian units are surrounded. Surroundments, pockets, they don't really happen often in this war because there are no blitz movement, fast movements. But in this instance, it did happen. I'll read you the info so you know what's up with this frontal area. Russian forces have suffered nearly a regiment worth of casualties near Dobropillia bunny ears between August 4th and August 16th, per official statement of the 1st Azov Corps. Total Russian casualties 1,228, 910 of which is KIA, 335 WIA, and 37 POW, which you can see these photos and videos of the POWs. I'm not going to show them, but they're everywhere. Equipment losses, and bear in mind, these numbers come only from this small salient, this breakthrough, this very narrow corridor of land. Russians lost 8 tanks, 6 armored combat vehicles, 103 motorcycles, ATVs and cars, 1 MLRS, 18 artillery pieces, and 91 UAVs. So this is a big loss of capabilities for the Russians. And just to zoom out a bit more on the map, this is Bakrovsk, surrounded on 2 to 3 sides, and this was the bunny ears breakthrough that happened. And actually, Ukrainians deployed massive amounts of units here. I mean, the units that they deployed gives us an indication how serious the situation was, because they wouldn't not have deployed these units if it wouldn't have been like so serious. I want to show you which units Ukrainians deployed, which tells us how seriously they viewed it and how bad it would have gotten if they wouldn't have sent everything. They almost sent any elite unit they have. Ukraine redeployed elements from the 79th and 82nd Air Assault Brigades, 1st and 425th Assault Regiments, 25th Air Assault Brigade, 2nd Battalion of the 92nd Air Assault Brigade. By the way, about half of these units, you and I, we have delivered cars to. You donated, I delivered. I have a hat from one of these brigades. I have like plaques on my studio from these brigades. 32nd and 93rd Mechanized Brigades, 38th Marine Brigades, 14th National Guards, Magyar Brigade, National Police and SBU, as well as the 1st Azov Corps. I mean, these are the elite Ukrainian brigades that they have, the whole list of them. These are these superstar brigades, you know. They were all sent there, and they did magnificent job. The situation has stabilized, and Russians are being sacked and pushed out. But the fact that Ukraine reacted so heavily to it gives us an idea how they assessed the danger of this. It was really dangerous. But again, when Russians take a heavy hit somewhere, they always, you can understand why they have taken a heavy hit when their troll factories start to do damage control. And this is it. YouTube comments. I read you a few YouTube comments. Azov got pretty heavy ambushed by FPV drones while they were tried attacking. Bro, Ukraine launched a counterattack with Azov members. Russia destroyed them. It's over. The last reserves. Watch armed the moment. See for yourself. Tomorrow you will be saying the opposite. You're always wrong. Did you saw the videos from these few days how Russians hunt and eliminate Azov soldiers in the Bakrovsk region? There is zero confirmation of this, but there's a video of us of getting obliterated by drone strikes. So, yeah, damage control by the trolls means Russia is losing it on the front lines. It always goes together. When the trolls react, that means really things on the front are not working out. That's how it is. But now, my friends, I gotta take this moment, since we don't have any new Buy Me a Coffee members, and I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for myself also. For not, if you want to change that, you can go to Buy Me a Coffee and sign up for monthly membership. But I want to show you some designs that I have on my stores, and I don't even know if all of you know they're here. Look at my shirt right now I'm wearing. With love from Ukraine. You can get a hoodie with that. You can get hats, you can get different I Love Ukraine hoodies, t-shirts, Ukrainian trident hats, in HIMARS we trust. I mean, all of these designs, they're made by you. They're made by you who are watching at the first year of war. So they have this first year war feeling, you know what I'm talking about. So go and get them. Links in the description below. Also, get it for your grandmother. All right, my friends, do you have your oil refinery bingo cards ready? Because they have really gotten some effect. Ukrainians destroying Russian oil refineries, I mean. Because in Crimea and Transbaikalia and some other regions in Russia, the Soviet Union has been reborn. Petrol is sold by voucher. You know, in the Soviet times, it was like everybody had to buy anything with vouchers because nothing was available. A fuel crisis has broken out in Crimea and Transbaikalia. 95, the gasoline sort, has disappeared from petrol stations. Petrol is either sold by voucher or only to companies, if it's available at all. But ordinary motorists are left with nothing. In Crimea, a liter already costs almost 70 rubles, which is, for Russian standards, is extremely expensive. And this is all because Ukrainian oil refinery bingo. This, for example, is the Syzran refinery, which was attacked last week. At the end of last week, I reported on it. But we have more videos of how it really took the hit. You see, this is the cracking or distillation tower. This is the heart of the refinery. They took it out. It was protected by scaffolding. Russians are using this regular scaffolding to protect against drones, but for some reason it didn't work, and the distillation tower still burned. This is the reason behind why the biggest, oil and gas products exporting country in the world almost is facing petrol shortages. This is what Ukraine is doing. These are sanctions that are actually working. Sanctions by drones. And they're wonderful. So yeah, keep your bingo cards ready. Stuff will happen. Now, my friends, I saw this photo. This is the newest Ukrainian missile called FLAMINGO. And you can see it. It's pretty big. And you can see it on a mass production line. So it's being mass produced. It was released as an info op, of course, because when Russians see this, they will lose their minds. But first of all, the shape really reminded me of the V series from the Third Reich's end days. I mean, look at that. It's a jet-powered missile, of course, but this jet engine right here, I mean, the shape is similar. But yeah, it has the range of 3,000 kilometers, and it has the warhead of 1 ton of explosive. It's a massive kaboom weapon. It's being mass produced as we speak. So Ukrainians can also produce missiles. So expect the oil refinery bingo to go up even more. And now, my friends, we travel to the Caspian Sea. Yes, we have never been there, you and me, because nothing has happened there connected to this war until now, because Ukrainian SOF, Special Operation Forces, sunk a Russian ship, carrier ship, seaport of Oilia on the Caspian Sea, heavily damaging and partially sinking the port Oilia. It's called the port Oilia, the ship. A vessel responsible for transporting key munitions and Shahed drone parts from Iran. Look at that ship. And this is what it looks like before it was turned into a submarine. And now it has been sunk. Let's just look for a moment where it was. It was really far away on the delta of Volga River, right? And it's I mean, this is filled to the brink with drone parts that would otherwise wreak havoc on Ukrainian civilian lives. But now it's turned into a submarine. Massive work. And the fact that Ukrainian special operations forces have reached to this area of Russia is incredible. It really gives a big compliment to the Ukrainian special forces. But yeah, I'm glad these drones are now at the bottom of the sea, making them underwater drones, I think, submarine drones. Yeah, good news. My friends, I know this video was a bit longer than usual, but I couldn't leave out the details of this meeting between Chamberlain and Hitler. I had to talk about it. I will talk about it more if new information comes out, and I'll be back for you on Wednesday. Thank you for watching, and thank you for sticking on this channel. Until my next video, Slava Ukraini, and bye-bye. Thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring today's video.